who knows? Maybe I'll get an Amazon Prime subscription for my birthday. My sweet 16.
Ah, yes.
That's a bit in the rearview mirror, but never mind. So 16 Candles.
Yes, the classic John Hughes coming of age teen comedy romance
Drama
with
thing.
Yeah. What was that?
The drama thing.
Drama thing. Yes.
It's carrying a lot of genres.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Not to be confused with another John Hughes movie that starred Molly Ringwald, Pretty in Pink, which I have not seen that one, but my mom really likes that movie.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I've heard things about Pretty in Pink that I had assumed would be in this movie that apparently weren't. So I guess in my mind I just conflated them.
Yeah, well, it's easy to do. Yeah, or conflated them all with The Breakfast Club.
Right. Which that was another John Hughes, right?
Another John Hughes and Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall was in that one.
Okay, that makes sense of something I read where he started making things like Uncle Buck because he didn't want to get pigeonholed as a teen guy.
Yeah. Same with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah, he wanted to do more adult movies. But before John Hughes worked with John Candy, he worked with Molly Ringwald. Like all of John Hughes's movies, we're in suburban Chicago, where we meet.
I swear, with Christmas Vacation, if they hadn't already reestablished that family lived in Indiana, they would have been in Chicago.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just
that's that out. That's all right. So we meet Samantha, who's or Sam as her family calls her. That's Molly Ringwald, and it's over this one particular weekend where her older sister, what was her
name? Blondie. We'll just call her Blondie.
Blondie, yeah. Well, the problem is
Blondie was Blondie 1, Blondie 2.
Yeah, Blondie 1, Blondie 2. Yeah. Ginny, I think was her name, Ginny. So her sister's getting married, and of course they've got all kinds of. She's in the middle, and she's got a younger brother, and she's got two sets of grandparents who are coming in for the wedding. They're all staying at the house, and of course through all the chaos and everything, every member of her family forgot that it was her 16th birthday. And so she spends most of the day just sulking about it, and she's filling out this like questionnaire that her friend gave her, which is kind of has a lot of very intimate questions. And then one of the questions that she is who does she really like, or who does she want to sleep with? And it's a guy in her class named Jake, and of course she's a sophomore, he's a senior, and she crumples up she kind of crumples up the note and tosses it back to her friend who's sitting behind her, but her friend's asleep, so she doesn't see it, and Jake sees it and looks at it. So now, so her crush knows that she likes him, and we kind of go off from there.
Yep. And so this one is very much a, how to put it? It's very much a slice of life movie. Mm-hmm. Like, it has a plot which is basically will they, won't they? But it takes a lot of deviations in between.
Yeah, there's like I said, her sister getting married. She's got the geek played by Anthony Michael Hall, who keeps hitting on her in a very aggressive, awkward way, which if he did that 35, 40 years later, he would be canceled, and
Okay, so I pulled up on Discord some of the comments I sent you while I was watching this.
yeah.
That's your my favorite one. What I said was man, women are so demanding, wanting the hot, polite guy from study hall instead of the nice guy who invades her space, hits on her, touches her without permission, and is generally unappealing. What a
Yeah.
femcel.
Yeah. Yeah, total incel. Yeah. Femcel. Yeah. Femcel.
Femcel, important difference.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. uh, yeah, and of course the other part of it is Jake has a girlfriend. This is blonde number 2. What was her? Let's see what Caroline. And Caroline is the typical shallow. Okay, so the reason DV had the joke of blonde 1 and blonde 2 is that both of the blondes in this movie are very shallow, vapid people.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to tell them apart. One
is the sister, one is her romantic rival.
Yes. And the other part of it too is speaking of mildly racist or racist tropes.
Dong, where's my automobile?
Yes. So one of the grandparents has a foreign exchange student living with them. A kid from Japan named Long Duck Dong.
No, he's from China.
Oh, it's China. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's China. You know what? Let's.
Well, the actor is Japanese, I think.
Right, but I think they described him as Chinese.
Oh, Chinese. Okay. It's probably Chinese. Yeah.
Long Duck Dong. All right. Yep, the character is a Chinese exchange student. But see, I can see where he'd be confused because Japanese actor, but also he keeps saying like bonsai and other like. Okay, in King of the Hill when they met Khan, who's the Laotian.
Oh yeah.
So are you Chinese or Japanese? Congratulations, you know less about the difference between different Asian cultures than King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Or say than Hank Hill at the start of the series.
Yeah. Then they had Cotton who's like, he's Laotian, ain't you, Mr. Khan?
Oh, I forgot that line.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know how to call it, long or dong.
I have a friend of mine who's Chinese, and he always jokes, "I'm tired of being cast as ethnic pervert number 3. I can be ethnic pervert number 2. So we'll call this guy ethnic pervert number 1." How about that?
Pervert, well, yeah. Well, yeah, because every time they say his name, you hear gong in the
background. A gong goes gong.
Gong.
I think one time they even have the da 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 music sting, but I might be misremembering.
No, they did. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, I think it was when he was driving the car to the party.
And that's right. They had that because he was planning turning Japanese on the car.
Right. Yeah. And so basically the whole crux of the movie is the goings on with of different teen aspects in the backdrop with Sam and Samantha and Jake kind of wistfully looking at each other and kind of passing each other by, and of course Samantha's just like, oh God, I'm such a dork, I'm so awkward, and
I'm so plain. Oh come on, Molly Ringwald was adorable at the time.
Yes, she was. Yeah, and what's funny too is in The Breakfast Club, she's the popular girl in that movie. So it's just like, okay, so she goes from the adorable dorky girl to the popular cheerleader girl.
She has acting range, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I had never seen this movie before, oddly enough. But it's a phenomenon that usually happens with UDB where you've never seen the movie, but you're familiar with like all of the things that happen into it, like when somebody, like when another movie or TV show references it, you know, the
Mhm.
reference. That's kind of what I had with this movie, where like, I mean, I'd never seen the movie, but I knew all of the references. Like I knew all of like some of the gags
Yep.
and the jokes, like the, you know, like the long duck dong and the scene with the underpants, you know, stuff like that. I've known about that, you know, but it's I would say overall, it's, you know, it's not my favorite John Hughes movie. That might be a little sacrilegious to say, but I mean, it's, you know, it's a nice little like you said, slice of life movie. You know, nice little picture into what it was like to be a high school student in the mid '80s. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I'd say it's very sincere in its own way.
yeah,
Now, there are a lot of angles where this movie would not get made today, and calling balls and strikes, there's some aspects that you know, that isn't necessarily the worst thing, but also it's like, eh, like teens get drunk at illicit parties and hook up. Gasp!
yes, yeah,
Call the National Guard.
yeah,
Gasp! Drunk people make poor decisions.
yeah.
Although, okay, geek is okay. So, did you ever see the Robot Chicken sketch about Revenge of the Nerds, where the guy is actually prosecuted for date rape because of what he did to the cheerleader?
Yes, yes, I've seen that. Yeah,
The geek here is very close to the same kind of treatment. He doesn't go
Mm,
quite that far, but he still has a drunk girl in the back of his car for extended periods of time, kind of taking advantage.
yeah, yeah,
Not if not physical advantage, then like trying to use her to boost his reputation.
yeah, yeah.
Like I would say that I would call this like a for me it's like a C on
Mm,
the enjoyment scale. Um, my favorite scenes actually weren't about the teen stuff. Weirdly enough, it was just little things like I had to look up what a bohunk was because that's what the family was obsessed with the fact that the sister was marrying a bohunk. She thought they all thought that was the biggest thing in the world, which bohunk is just like a term for somebody from Southern or Eastern Europe.
uh, yeah, yeah. The future in-laws are yeah, they you know they got their hands in a lot of different businesses. You know.
Yeah. Video game arcades, laundry, cigarette machines, and trucking. So basically, a whole bunch of coin-op businesses where it's very easy to wash the money, if you will.
Yeah, yes.
Um, I would say like this where I saw the Uncle Buck similarity was there's actually a very touching scene between Molly and her dad at one point.
Oh yeah.
Also, Molly started off. I was worried I was going to hate Molly through the whole movie, but she was like, because on the one hand, it is very understandable to be upset that your birthday was forgotten, but she was just
Yeah.
a very self-involved teenager, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't worried because knowing that it's a John Hughes movie, like typically his characters always go through an arc. You know, they start out the people they start off with at the beginning of the movie aren't who they are at the end of the movie, with maybe like Ferris Bueller the exception. I don't think Ferris Bueller ever. I don't think he learned anything at the end of
Uh,
that movie.
Ferris Bueller is history's greatest monster.
Yeah,
Cameron did nothing wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall, it's just like again, I wouldn't call again. My favorite scenes were about the non-teenagers, but you know what? Former failed middle school teacher who maybe I don't like teenage antics that much. I might have a bias, so mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Um, also, this would definitely get slapped with an R rating today if it didn't have one at the time.
It was PG.
And we've gotten soft as a society.
Yes, we have. Although to be fair, this movie came out the year that they had created the PG-13 rating. So
Okay, yeah,
man,
this would have definitely gotten that rating, like if
yeah,
it had come out a year later.
yes, because there's one F bomb and boobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so I would say that this does. I am increasing through the course of this podcast my John Hughes appreciation, because I basically watching Uncle Buck first is almost like jumping right to the end in terms of like the classic era,
Yeah. Yeah.
and seeing him as a fully developed artist. So this is kind of interesting just to see where he started, see the similarities. Also, the relationship that this movie set up, I don't think is going to last at all, because I feel like the hunk boyfriend there, like he's 2 years older than her. He's about to graduate. He's not
Yeah.
sticking around for his plain Jane 16-year-old girlfriend who he got interested in because he just happened to find out that she was interested in him, and
Yeah.
decided that he wanted somebody different than his current boring blonde hottie.
Yeah. 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 Well, good thing that John Hughes didn't do a sequel to this.
Yep, 17 Candles would have been a very different movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. But yeah, I mean, I would give it a yeah. If you're new to John Hughes movies, this would probably be a good jumping off point.
Yep.
Um, and then yeah, just slowly do this, and then like maybe Breakfast Club, and then Ferris Bueller, and work your way up to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Uncle Buck.
Yep. Um, and it is currently streaming on Netflix.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well,